Are we live? We're live. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We are coming to you live from PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and as per usual, I'm Matt.
I'm Jeff.
And we are joined here with our special guest, guest, Keith. How you doing today?
I like this special guest. You have to guess who the guest is.
There you go.
I'm Keith. Hi.
So, Keith, you are with Twogether Studios.
Yes, I am.
And what are you showing off for us here today? I see you have this really lovely setup here on the board, and it's mildly scary, you know. I see like some tarot-sized cards here. I like the artwork, but what is this?
So this is a game called ILLIMAT that we made with the band the Decemberists, where basically in 2008 they were doing a photo shoot for their album The Hazards of Love, and they said, you know, it'd be more interesting than just a band if we were a secret society playing a mysterious game no one's seen before. So they made this board and just took a bunch of pictures of them sitting around the board as if it's playing a weird game.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next 7 years, they actually started playing a lot of games. They liked Gloom, one of my other games. We all live in Portland, and they said, hey, we've got this weird board. Could you make a game out of this? And that is what I have done. And they said, and could you make it feel like it's maybe 100 years old and everyone's forgotten about it? And I'm like, okay. And they're like, and could it be sort of like a Ouija board and sort of like a card game? And I'm like, yes. And that is where we stopped. And that's what we've ended up with here.
That sounds like their style, actually.
Yes.
Awesome.
And so it is not about the Decemberists as such. It is just that it, first off, comes from a thing that they created. All the art is by Carson Ellis, who does all the artwork for them, and that it's just got the flavor of it. Would you like to give it a try?
Absolutely. So first, we're going to go and show off the board here, but we need a little bit of magic on your end. We're going to do a little spirit fingers here. Woo. And it's going to transition over. And there we go.
Whoa.
And so let me just adjust here.
Woo. Showing off some of the show off a luminary.
Yeah, we have an individual camera
good.
here if you want to show off the individual cards.
I was just going to say, you know, this is
the river.
And you can show
Fool of Spring. I'm digging the stylisticness of this.
Yeah, I've been to many Decemberist shows, so I assume like all their set design is by the same artist.
Yes, Carson Ellis, Carson Ellis is actually married to Colin Malloy, who's the lead singer.
Oh, okay.
And they work together on things like Wildwood and things like that. And so as you can see, you know, we were trying to get this feel of something that felt like, we wanted it to be like sort of Jumanji. Like you could imagine that you found this up in your grandfather's attic, and you're like, what is this thing? So, shall I dive in?
Absolutely.
Okay, so at its core, it plays like a classic card game. It's about set collection and construction.
Okay.
So what you are trying to do ultimately is collect the most cards. Normally you play until someone gets 17 points. That's the number along the edge.
Okay.
Playing to 17 takes 2 to 4 hands. A hand takes about 15 minutes. You know, we'll just play one hand. Okay. But normally you would play a couple hands, so one bad hand you can come back from. But you play until we go all the way through the deck, and then until we play out all the cards in our hands. So once we are all out of cards, we're done. Now, at that point, we count up, if you want to put that in front of the camera.
Sure thing.
We count up the cards we have collected. The person who has collected the most cards gets 4 points. The person who has collected the most summer cards, the red cards, gets 2 points.
Okay.
The person who has collected the most winter cards loses 2 points. And you also get points for Ocuses, Luminaries, and Fools. And a Fool can be a 1 or a 14. It's important to note when you use it, you decide which number to use.
Okay.
So the basic goal of the game is collect as many cards, especially Fools and summer cards, and be careful of how much winter you get. Now, I'll also say if you can ever clear a field, it is good to do it. I'll explain why when it happens. It is going to be easiest for me to just sort of jump in and explain as we go, because it sounds more complicated than it is. On your turn, you play a single card from your hand, and you interact with one of the 4 fields. Okay. So you can pick up multiple cards, but you can't play multiple cards. And so that's what you're going to do. There are 3 things you can do. Flip that card over and show it back.
Look at that.
So during your turn, you can sow. Sowing is just discarding a card into a field. It's a move you make if you can't do anything else. The main move is harvesting. When you harvest, you reveal a card. Whoop. There we go. Got it. Okay, you reveal a card. You pick a field, and you can collect any number of cards that match it in value. So with a 7, I can collect a 7.
Okay.
But I could over here collect a 3 and a 4, which add up to 7.
Right.
And that's more cards. So generally speaking, you want to do what's going to get you more cards. If this was over here, you could actually collect them all. That's 7, that's 7. How many sets of 7 can you build? Similarly, if this was over here and I had a 14, I could say all of that is
3, 4,
14
7. Okay.
and collect it. That is the main gist of the game, is again creating and trying to match sets. The one other twist is what is called stockpiling. When you stockpile, you can combine a card from your hand with one or more cards in the field to create a new value matching a card you have. So I have a 13. I could say I'm going to take this 4, add it to the 1, add it to the 8, and make a 13. That's now stuck together as if it is a 13. My hope is it gets back around to me and I take it. The risk is if either of you have a 13, you take it first. So let's just jump in, and on my turn, I'm going to play a single card. I'm looking to this Fool because if you never take a Fool, you want to, but I don't have anything that can take it. So if I had a 9, if I had a 3, if I had a 11, I would do that. But I want to take as many cards as I can, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I forgot the most important part.
What's that?
The box in the center.
I see that it's got 4 seasons on there.
Yes. So the box has 4 seasons. That sets the season of each field.
Okay.
And that limits what you can do. You can do anything in summer, but you can't stockpile. That's combine cards in spring. You can't harvest from winter. And you can't sow into autumn.
So you were just trying to pick up from winter. That's harvesting. You couldn't do that.
Exactly. So I can't, even though that's the best thing I could do. So instead, I'm going to play the King of Spring. And over here, I'll take the 7 and the 6. Now, anytime you play a face card, a card with a number, at the end of your turn, you change the season to match that card. As it turns out, I played the King of Spring. It was already spring, so it doesn't turn. But if it had been any other season, we would have turned the box to match it. And that's sort of where the surprise strategy of the game comes in.
Because it might change up what you've got in your head for the round.
Do. That's exactly right. And you can pull that now. Over to you.
All right, so let's see what I've got. I haven't even looked yet.
Clearing a field is always a good thing. So if you happen to have a 10, that would be good for you. Getting a Fool is a good thing. So if you had a 3,
remind me one
a
more
9,
time why clearing a field is a good thing.
When you clear a field, you will get an Ocus, and an Ocus is worth a point. And then we'll put new cards in and also reveal the Luminary. So it's basically just the first 3 people to clear fields will get points, essentially.
Okay. So I'm going to do... I'm going to use the Knight of Autumn to...
That is the best play on this board.
So I'm going to take all 3 of those cards and clear the field.
That is correct. So basically, this adds up to 11. So you take the whole thing. Once again, you've played an Autumn face card, and it was already Autumn. So the season doesn't change, but you take all of that. You get a point because you took a Fool.
Okay.
Now you get an Ocus. These are just random little guys that do come with the game. When you play a bunch, you want to use something of your own as your Ocus. But we give you these wacky, we got the boy, the bathtub, and the bear tooth. All right, so you get a point for the Ocus. Now, we put 3 new cards out. We give you a card.
Thank you.
And we reveal the Luminary. The first time the field is cleared, you reveal it. The second time it's cleared, you take it. Luminaries are worth a point, and they break ties, so they're even better. Each Luminary also does something, if you stick that under there. What you can see there is the children have 3 cards. So we put 3 cards underneath the children, and whoever clears this gets those 3 cards in their score pile, and they're the only person who will know what they actually are. All right, you're at 4 cards, so it's over to you.
Beat that, Jeff.
As I said, once you get it, so like if you had a 12, you could clear that field. 13, excuse me. And I just used my 13. All right, with a 13, I'm getting my ass kicked. Is all I'm saying.
Ideal drawing.
So you got you collect all of those. Once again, it's the King of Autumn. We're not changing our seasons, but you get all those cards. There wasn't a Fool there, but you get an Ocus, and that's worth a point. And you get the Children, and that's worth a point.
So are we
And we'll
limited to
just check
3
to see if we
locusts
get a
in the
Fool.
game? Are we limited to the 3 locusts in
There's
the game?
4 Ocuses,
Okay.
1 per player. And again, as I said, normally you would actually I have a key that I would use as my Ocus. You know, if I was just playing myself, that's my Ocus. But basically, it is just 1 per player, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Gotcha.
So you got a point for the Children, and you also get these 3 cards. Which of these is your score pile? That one? So just add these to your score pile, and you can look at what they are, but we don't get to know.
Darn it, Jeff, making me look bad. Thought I had you. You killed me in the first game.
And it is my turn again, and I will at least grab the last Ocus. I have a 10. I'll clear that field. That gets me Ocus, so at least I got a point. I'm not out of the running.
So you
we
cleared
put
the field there.
3 new cards out. This is not what I wanted to see, and I'll explain why in a moment. And we put out the Changeling.
The Changeling. So what's the
So
Changeling?
the Changeling is trickier than the Children, but it's one of my favorites. What happens with the Changeling is what you can see there is you have the boy with a card trading a card with the deer.
Right.
At the start of your turn, so starting with you, and for everybody as long as it stays on the board, during your turn as a free play, you may swap 1 card from your hand for 1 card in that field.
Okay, so
as
it
a
has to
free
be
action.
in the respective field.
In that field. So we'll put it back now before we forget it. And then you can still take your action. I will point out a couple things right here. If you happen to have a 10, you could just clear the field straight off. If you happen to have a 5, you could clear the field straight off because it's 2 sets of 5.
Right.
But otherwise, you can swap 1 card from your hand for any of those 3 cards
I
if
didn't realize
you want
could
to.
do pairs like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
It's any number of sets that that match the value.
what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the swap on the Changeling. I'm going to swap out my 10 for this 5 here.
And do you have a 14?
I do have a 14.
That is exactly right. That is how you do it. So again, I'm not, you're making me look bad is what I'm saying. So with the 14, you collect 1 14. You collect another 14, and because you have cleared the field, you're going to take the Changeling. So we're just cruising along. Quickly, you played the Fool of Winter, so it is going to become Winter.
Okay.
You get a point for the Fool, a point for the Fool, and a point for the Changeling. So boom, you are up to 5 points. Congratulations.
Woo!
You only refill the field if you take an Ocus, which you didn't. We were out of Ocuses, or reveal the Luminary. So we're not refilling the field. And how are we doing on time? Because we got to wrap things up. We can.
5 more minutes?
Okay. Let's just go quickly and keep moving. If you only have 3 cards, you missed a draw. So.
Weird. Okay. I'm going to. Nope, that doesn't work.
So yeah, I mean, you could take the 12 with the 12. It's not a huge play. You could go there because you're at least getting a summer card, and summer cards are better than non-summer cards. But likewise, you could just use the 3 and take the 3 because at the end of the game, it's still 2 cards, including a summer card. So
Say that again?
at the end of the game, it only matters how many cards you have. It doesn't matter the value. So what I'm saying is, if you're choosing between these 2, this is just as valuable as this is, and you might want to save this in the hopes you can get more than 1 card with it, because that's the value of high cards. So I just take the 3 if I were you.
Okay. So I just take
With the 3.
with the 3.
So you were harvesting. You play the 3, you collect the
go in your
3,
points pile.
and you set those aside. Both of them. Okay, I will take the 7 with the 7. Again, it's a point. Or it's cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Over to you.
Okay, so let's see what I even have here. Oh boy.
Now we're starting to be limited on what's there, and this is where potentially you could stockpile. I could make a 13 to do something with it.
That's true. Oh boy. I'm gonna play the Queen of Winter here and pick up the Queen of Autumn.
Okay, so because you do that, it changes this to Winter, which means even if someone has a king, they can't clear the field.
Right.
And do you have 4 cards? I didn't notice.
I do not. I have 3.
Okay, back to you. So yeah.
11 for an 11.
Okay. No, you keep them both. You get both of them.
My bad. Okay.
And you played Spring. So...
Oh, and I should have drawn a card.
That's fine. Draw on up. I am going to stockpile and create a 12.
Okay.
All right.
Oh boy. This is bad for me.
It takes a little, as I said. Once you get used to it, it's really easy. But it does take you, you know. But again, it's the same math you get in something like Jin or.
Yeah. Well, I like set collection a lot.
Okay, so I'm gonna. That's a 12 you have there. I'm gonna stockpile this to an 11.
11. All right. Over to you.
Okay.
And card, please. Thank you.
So for 12, I can grab these.
Except you can't because it's winter.
Oh, no.
But that is exactly the idea.
Yeah. No.
So if you can't take anything, you'll have to sow.
I can not stockpile in spring either.
You do not
I
sow.
will have to sow.
Yep.
And sowing means I just
Drop a card out into a field.
That's a bummer, man. That is a bummer.
So now there, you can actually, what's called double stockpiling, you can do that and make a big stack of 12s. Because you have a 12.
Yeah.
So, no reason not to. We'll actually stop here because we're running out of time and I want to score.
Yeah.
I will say I grabbed that. That would happen, but I wouldn't get it. So let's go ahead, and now what you want to do is separate out. Let's pretend we'd run through all the cards.
Okay.
So separate out your summer cards, your winter cards, and everything else.
So summer, winter, and everything else. So, okay.
As I said, the only
boy.
suits that matter are summer and winter. All the other cards can be heaped together. So what we see here is you have 4 summer cards. I only have one.
I
You
have
only
one.
have one. So that means you're going to get 2 points for having the most summer cards. I see 2 winter. How many winter?
I have 3 winter.
I only have 2, so you lose 2 points for getting the most winter cards. And then we're looking at most cards total. 5, 7, 11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh,
wait,
tough
and
break.
Then this too? Or
That doesn't count.
Okay.
So that takes us up to 8. So final scores are 8 to 3. So again, if we were continuing to 17, you've got the lead, but you're still there. As it is, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jeff, you beat me in every
Thank you,
game.
sir.
I
Yes,
can't deal
you
with
win
this.
every game.
It is, you know, it's what you do. Someone's got to be that guy.
All right, so Keith, is there anything else you wanted to talk about in regards to ILLIMAT?
Not really. So again, as I say, it's very much if you've played classic card games, you know, it has that familiar feel. But then between the luminaries and most importantly, the sort of the rotating board, that is the thing that really
That's
sort
really
of
cool.
changes it up and adds a new dimension.
I like
literally
that
to it.
the box is part of the actual
Yes.
gameplay.
Yeah,
It's
And
really little.
everything is used, right?
It also means that it is very compact, and it all, at the end of the day, folds up and fits into the box.
And
So
where can we find ILLIMAT?
we can find ILLIMAT at either illimat.com, at thedecemberists.com, in their web store, they'll have it. We go through Black Box, so any game store that carries Cards Against Humanity or other Black Box stuff will be able to get it.
Okay.
they sell
And
it at
here
shows?
at PAX, we are at booth 449.
Do the December sell it like at their shows and stuff? Too?
They are probably going to. It's only just coming out, so you know, not yet. We were at Traveler's Rest, which was a big music festival they did this summer. So yeah, you know, you
man.
are likely going to be able to see it there. And I will say that they play it a lot, especially Colin and Carson are huge sharks.
That's right.
And if you're here at PAX, Chris Funk from the Decemberists is with us demoing at our booth 449.
That's really cool.
Fantastic.
So
Awesome.
thanks so much for playing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was a
All
very
right.
fun game to show off.
And I will get
TP,
out-
is there anything else that
Out
we
of
need
your
to do for this one?
hair.
We have okay, so we do have a giveaway. So if you are watching now, you guys have an opportunity
Oh, yeah.
to earn some points that you can redeem for tickets that you could use to enter the giveaway, get free stuff, and you can get your own copy of ILLIMAT. And we're going to be doing the drawing a little bit later today, so keep watching, keep stocking up points, and we'll see y'all later. This is Twist Gaming doing a soft sign off for now. Stay tuned for more coverage from PAX Unplugged. I'm Matt.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Keith.
Thank you again, Keith. We really do appreciate it.
You are welcome.
See you later, everyone.